I was planning a surprise proposal. Saved for months. Asked her parents, designed the ring. One night, I saw her luggage by the door and asked if she was traveling. Yeah, she said, but not alone. He already booked the flights. She didn't even cry. I watched her leave, then called my banker and transferred everything before. I never thought I'd be the guy writing something like this. But when your whole life flips upside down in a single night, you need somewhere to put the anger, the grief, the cold, numb silence that sits in your chest after betrayal hits. My name's Rick. I'm from Spokane, Washington. I'm 35 now, but this happened when I was 32. Back then, I had a steady job at a commercial construction firm. Worked my way up from manual labor to project supervisor. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well, and I was proud of what I built. I had a decent house, no debt, and I thought I had the girl of my dreams. Her name was Anna. She was a nurse at a local clinic. We met at a housewarming party thrown by a mutual friend. She was quiet, polite, with this dry sense of humor that took me off guard the first few times. Not loud, not flashy. Just solid. Real. We started dating slowly. Sunday coffee dates turned into weekend hikes. 6 months in, we were together officially. A year after that, she moved in. For 3 years, it felt like we had something stable. Nothing too dramatic, no big fights. We cooked together. We watched terrible Netflix documentaries. We had a dumb inside joke about pineapple on pizza that dragged on way too long. I thought we were good. Then I decided I was ready. I knew she didn't care about flashy proposals, so I decided to put my effort into the little things. I spent months saving behind her back. Extra hours. Freelance work. Cutting expenses. I sold my old motorcycle that I'd been fixing up for 2 years. That one hurt, but I told myself it was worth it. I went to her parents' house in late October. Her mom teared up when I asked. Her dad gave me a firm handshake and said, "Make her happy, son." I thought I was doing that already. I designed the ring myself. Oval cut diamond, clean band, no frills. Just like she always said she'd want. I even worked with a local jeweler instead of buying online. I wanted it to be personal. I booked us a trip to Leavenworth in January. It's a small Bavarian-style town in the mountains. Anna had always wanted to go during the winter. She mentioned it years ago, and I remembered. I was going to propose there. Snow, lights, cozy cabin. I had it all planned. But none of that happened. Because on December 10th, yeah, I'll never forget the date, I came home early from work. It was a Thursday. We had a delay on site because of snow, so I clocked out around 2 p.m. I walked into the house and saw her suitcase by the front door. That confused me. She hadn't said anything about a trip. At first I thought maybe it was work-related. Maybe a conference or a weekend getaway with her sister. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling her phone like nothing was out of the ordinary. "You going somewhere?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She didn't even look up. Just said, "Yeah." "Where to?" I asked. She glanced at me, then back at her phone. "Out of state." That's when something shifted in me. I felt this tightness in my chest. I asked, "Work stuff?" Then she finally looked at me. "No. I'm going with someone." I just stared. "With who?" She sighed. Like I was annoying her. "Rick, I didn't want you to find out this way. But it happened." "What happened?" "I met someone. It just happened. I didn't plan it. I didn't mean to hurt you." "Are you serious right now?" She nodded. "His name is Caleb. We met at the clinic. He's a traveling physician." It started slow. Then we just clicked. I felt dizzy. Like the floor wasn't stable. I asked, "How long?" She hesitated. "A couple of months." "A couple of months," I repeated. "So, the whole time I was planning our future, you were planning your exit?" She didn't say anything.
No te ars. No e paledi.
Just this blank look. She said, "He already booked the flights. We're leaving tonight."
Just like that. For years gone.
I said, "What about the house? Our plans? You don't even want to talk about it." She shook her head. "Rick, I don't want a big fight. I need to go." And then she left. with her damn suitcase and her dead eyes.
She didn't cry.
She didn't look back. When the door shut, I just stood there, holding my keys, still wearing my boots from work. That night, I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I didn't eat. Around 10 p.m., I opened the ring box. Just sat there staring at it on the table. Then, I made a decision. I called my banker. I moved every single dollar from our joint savings into my personal account. I was the one who put in most of it anyway. She barely contributed. That account was for our future house. $37,000 gone from her reach. She hadn't even noticed we had access to that account still. Probably thought I forgot about it. Then I called my lawyer. Told him I needed to remove her name from everything. She was never on the deed, but I had her listed on some emergency contact stuff, and we had a few shared bills. I wanted her off all of it. The next morning, I went to the jewelry store and asked if I could return the ring. They told me no, but they offered a consignment option. I left it with them. That same day, I started digging. I wanted to know who Caleb really was. And once I found out, everything started. I couldn't stop thinking about him. Caleb, the guy she left me for. I had no photo, no last name, just a first name and a job title, traveling physician. I spent the next 2 nights barely sleeping, scrolling through her social media, even though most of it was private. No recent posts, but I noticed she'd been tagged in some group photos from her clinic's holiday party the week before. I found one photo. She was in the corner, standing way too close to a tall guy with slick hair and a smug grin. His hand was almost touching her waist, but not quite. I zoomed in. He was wearing a hospital badge. I sent the photo to a friend of mine, James, who works in IT and has a talent for digging through digital trash. I said, "Find me everything you can about this guy." 3 hours later, he sends me back a name, Caleb Warren. Locum tenens physician. Does short-term contracts at rural clinics. Doesn't stay in one place for more than 3 to 4 months. Lives out of hotels, mostly. And then came the part that changed everything. James says, "You're not the only guy he's wrecked." Turns out Caleb had a history. 2 other women. 2 different states. One in Montana, one in Oregon. Both left long-term boyfriends for him. Both were nurses. Both were dumped by him within months. And both tried to contact him afterward, only to find his number disconnected. I dug deeper. The man was a serial heartbreaker. He knew exactly what to say, how to act. And once he got what he wanted, he vanished. And now Anna had thrown away everything to follow him. It was almost funny. Almost. But I wasn't laughing. I didn't want her back.
Not after what she did.
But I wanted her to understand who she left me for. So I waited 2 weeks. Then I messaged her mom. Not Anna. Her mom. She didn't respond right away. But the next morning she called. "Rick, what happened?" she asked. "Anna hasn't spoken to us since she left." I told her everything. Not just about Anna leaving, but about Caleb's history, the other women, how he ghosted them. Her mom was silent for a while. Then she said, "I'll talk to her." I hung up and let that conversation do what it needed to. A week later, Anna texted me for the first time since she left. "Why did you talk to my mother?"
No paledi.
"Just that," I replied, "because she deserved to know the man you threw your life away for as a con with a pattern."
She didn't respond.
The next day, I got an email from her. A long one. She said she was in Colorado now. Caleb got a contract there. She said things were confusing. That he was distant already. That he said he wasn't looking for anything serious, even though she thought they were moving towards something real. Then she tried to flip it on me. She said I was emotionally cold during our relationship. That I never showed passion. That maybe that's why she fell for someone like Caleb. That pissed me off more than anything else. I sat there, reading her words, feeling my hands shake. Not from sadness, but from rage. She wanted to rewrite history to make herself feel better. To make what she did seem justified. So, I made another decision. She didn't know I still had access to our shared streaming accounts. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, all under my email. She also didn't know I had access to the cloud storage we used for backup files, photos, documents. I logged in. She never changed the password. I downloaded every single photo of us, every memory, every file. Then I deleted all of them from the cloud. I deactivated every streaming account. I logged her out of everything. Then I contacted the realtor we had spoken to months ago about buying our first house. I let him know the situation. He said she had already called him after she left, asking about solo buying options. I told him she had no access to the funds anymore and would not be part of any purchase. I also called the jeweler, asked them to reset the ring to remove any memory of her. I was going to sell it anyway, but I wanted to erase her fingerprints from my life, piece by piece. But that wasn't enough. I wasn't done yet. A few weeks passed and I started to feel like maybe it was finally over. Like maybe I could move on. Then I got a call from my bank. They flagged a suspicious attempt to access the joint savings account I had cleared out weeks ago. The one Anna didn't know I'd already drained. It wasn't her. It was Caleb. The guy actually tried to impersonate me on the phone. He used my full name, said he was calling to update the account. But the answers to the security questions didn't match. That's when they froze the account and alerted me. I couldn't believe it. Not only was he a manipulative creep, he was trying to rob me too. I called James again. Can you look into Caleb's background more? I need something real, something I can use. James dug up even more dirt. Turns out, Caleb had been sued twice. One case in Arizona, one in Idaho. Both civil suits. One was from a former coworker who accused him of sexual harassment and psychological manipulation. It was settled out of court. The other one? A landlord claiming Caleb left the apartment trashed and skipped out on 4 months of rent. James found records showing Caleb used several fake addresses over the years, forwarding his mail through P.O. boxes and out-of-state friends. He was good at slipping through cracks, always one step ahead of the fallout. That's when it hit me. Anna wasn't just heartbroken. She was in danger, and she didn't even realize it. So I emailed her again. I attached the civil court documents. The harassment claim, the skipped rent, the impersonation attempt at my bank. All of it. Cold, hard proof. I ended the email with, "This is who you left me for. You made your bed, but if you don't get out now, you'll lose more than your pride." No response for 2 days. Then she called me. I didn't answer. Let it go to voicemail. She left a long message. She was crying. The first time since she walked out. She said Caleb took her credit card, maxed it out, promised to pay her back. He was living off her hotel loyalty points, using her car, staying in the hotel room she paid for. When she confronted him, he threatened her, said no one would believe her if she reported him. Now she was stuck in Colorado Springs, scared, broke, and alone. She said, "I know I don't deserve your help, Rick, but I don't know who else to call." I still didn't call back. But I wasn't heartless. I contacted one of her old nursing friends who lived near Denver. Quietly sent her the hotel details Anna had included in her voicemail. Told her Anna was in trouble and needed a place to go. The friend got to her 2 hours later. Drove her out. Got her safe. But it didn't stop there. Because 3 days later, I got a knock on my door. It was a man in a dark blue windbreaker. Said he was with the state medical board. He asked if I had any information about Caleb Warren. I told him everything I knew. Turns out Caleb wasn't even licensed to work in Washington. He was using forged documents. That's why he never stayed long. Once the paperwork started catching up, he moved on. And now he was being investigated in 3 states. That was the moment I knew I hadn't just dodged a bullet. I had ripped it out of my chest before it hit my heart. And Anna, well, she was finally starting to understand just how badly she had screwed up. But this wasn't the end. Not for me. Because while she was living in motels and trying to pick up the pieces, I was planning the final move. The one she'd never see coming. She thought the worst part of this was losing Caleb. I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. Anna had left me like I was nothing. Like 4 years meant less than some smooth-talking fraud she barely knew. And when her world crashed around her, She wanted to crawl back to the only person who ever actually gave a damn. I helped her survive Caleb. That's all. But survival isn't justice. Not for what she did. See, during those months of planning the proposal, I had built more than memories. I had detailed records, bank statements, receipts, photos, emails, everything tied to the life we were building. I had proof of what I gave and what she took. She didn't cheat on some guy she met at a bar. She betrayed someone who built a future for her. I printed it all out. Every transfer I made. Every receipt she left behind. How she used my card to buy luggage the week she left. The vacation day she took from work while lying to me about needing extra shifts. I dropped it into an envelope and mailed it directly to her nursing board's ethics committee.
Why?
Because nurses are held to standards. Their jobs involve trust, honesty, emotional judgment, and abandoning a relationship, using shared funds, lying, and disappearing with a known scammer, all while carrying out patient care? That's grounds for review. A few weeks later, she called me again. This time, I answered. "What did you do?" she said, shaking. "I did what you never did," I said calmly. "Told the truth. You're trying to ruin my life." I let that hang for a second. "No," I said. "You ruined mine. I just returned the favor." She was placed under review. Her license wasn't taken, but she got flagged. Required counseling, ethics training, and she was suspended for 2 months. She called me sobbing. "I can't find work. I'm being blacklisted." "You should have thought about that before lying to everyone who trusted you," I said. Then I hung up for the last time. But Caleb? He got worse. Turns out he wasn't just a fraud, he had warrants. Skipped court in Idaho. The state medical board connected the dots. When he tried to leave Colorado and take a new job in Utah, he got stopped at a checkpoint. They found fake IDs, prescriptions in other people's names, and 3 burner phones. He was arrested. I got a call from a local detective who thanked me for handing over the early documents. Caleb's now facing federal charges for medical fraud, identity theft, and falsifying documents. And me? I got promoted a month later. Bigger projects, better pay. I used part of the money from selling the ring to buy a new motorcycle. A better one. One I don't plan to sell for anyone. I took a solo trip to Leavenworth, just like I originally planned. I stayed in the same cabin I booked for the proposal. Only this time, I brought a journal and a bottle of good bourbon. I sat by the fire, watched the snow fall outside, and thought about how much I gave. And how much I learned. Anna wanted more. Caleb promised more. What she got was less than nothing. I built myself back, brick by brick. And as for Anna, she's back in Spokane now, working at a lower-end urgent care that barely pays enough to cover rent. No friends. No reputation. Parents disappointed. No more social media. Nothing left of the confident girl who thought the grass was greener. People like her always think they're too special to fall. She fell hard. And Caleb? He'll be in prison for a long, long time. So no, I didn't slash tires. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I just made sure the truth caught up to them. And it did. Faster than they ever thought possible.